G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for being here and watching my content. As always, it is my pleasure and privilege to talk about the greatest game in the world, rugby. So, once upon a time, there was an English writer in the name of William Shakespeare. And he wrote one of the greatest piece of propaganda called Macbeth. Okay, the ceiling did not follow me. But in this piece of propaganda, it's a story about some traitors, with the help of the stinking English, overthrows the rightful king of Scotland, one of the greatest king of all time, Macbeth. Now in this story, Macbeth had to exercise his divine right of being a badass Scotsman and claim the throne for himself with his own hands. And this weekend, another great Scotsman in the name of Finn McRussell has a chance to claim the throne of being the best fly half in the world with his own hands from the king himself, the greatest possibility of all time, Johnny Sexton, for a spot in the quarterfinals of the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how big the stage is, and Scotland has a chance to prove to the world that they're not just a walking shadow that frits and struts across the Rugby World Cup and then is heard no more. They want to be in the quarterfinals, and to do so, they need to beat Ireland by 7 to eliminate Ireland. There is a long shot where if both teams scores 4 tries and somehow Scotland beats Ireland by 21 points or more, they will eliminate the Springboks, but it's extremely unlikely because some people are talking about there could be collusion. I don't see that happening because in this scenario, Ireland has absolutely no benefit and runs the risk of being double crossed and get eliminated. Right? Like, hey, let's score 4 tries, guys, and somehow Ireland has to pray that Scotland scores 21 points or more to eliminate South Africa, where Scotland could just go, oops, sorry guys, we only score 14 instead of 21. See you later, Ireland. Right? So it makes absolutely no sense for Ireland to be even taking this deal at any cost, at any sort of offer. There's absolutely no way. It makes 0 sense. But hey, the media likes to speculate. I like to speculate. We'll see what happens. And obviously, with this game, the stage is set for the this is an elimination match. Make no doubt about it. It's why this is so difficult in the Pool B. And obviously, with the match with such a monumental occasion, we're gonna have the greatest referee of all time, Nick Berry. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Please keep your hands in the pocket, Mr. Nick. Oh boy. We don't want to see a 60-minute video out of Andy Farrell or Gregor Townsend at the end of the match. But oh boy, I can only pray. This is going to be played in Paris, 26 degrees on a Sunday evening. I think it will be a Sunday evening in their time. So yeah, it'll be quite good weather. Still a little bit hot, 26 degrees. But in the evening, it should probably be much cooler. Now, move on to the history of the two teams. In recent times, overall, the two teams has been quite close, but in recent times, since Joe Schmidt took over and Andy Farrell carried on that legacy a bit, a lot, in fact, has been pretty much one-sided for Ireland. Yeah. In their last outing in the Six Nations, Ireland beat Scotland in Murrayfield, and Ireland had some hooker issue from memory that Josh Van der Fleer was throwing the lineouts in the second half and was still quite comfortable, able to beat the Scotland team. So yeah, Scotland team has improved a lot. In fact, this is the best Scotland team I've ever seen in my whole life, and this is also the best Ireland team we've ever seen. So it is quite a monumental occasion for both teams to try to get themselves out of the pool stage. And yeah, with that being said, the recent history for Scotland has been on the up all the time. Every game the Scotland plays, they look better, they look stronger. They had some very good outing against the All Blacks. They had a really back and forth series in the warm-ups against French. And like I said, Scotland is on the up. They beat England in Twickenham in the Six Nations, so it's no slouch. There's always been an issue where Scotland teams have consistent issues in the past where they will come out win the first match against England and then they just fall apart in the remainder of the Six Nations. That has been kind of greatly improved for the Scotland team. Much more consistency every match. Show in a lot of the pools stages as well. Scotland was able to blow out Romania, beats Tonga convincingly. True performances from a Tier 1 nation. The game against South Africa was in no way, shape, or form a one-sided affair despite the scoreline. Scotland had so many opportunities to score points, and they just, the polish, sometimes decision-making under pressure, it's not quite that crisp. There was a few questionable decision-making in terms of the execution, lacked a little patience, in my opinion, and really let that match out of their hands. But it was no way, in shape or form, a one-sided affair for the Springboks. The Springboks was under the pump for the majority of the match. Scotland had plenty of chances to score their points. They weren't able to capitalize on that. So one of the most impressive one in recent times is against France. This was against French B team, but Scotland had a red card. Yeah, a 14-man Scotland team pretty much for the entire second half and still came out. I know they were behind. They were behind on the scoreboard, still came out, pulled themselves ahead, and that was probably one of the most impressive performances by the Scotland team in recent memory. And I think a lot of Scottish fans remember that, even though this was against a B team. And the next week, instead of France, against the French, at home with an A team, only lost by 3. Very, very impressive Scotland. Can't say any more about how good they're looking nowadays. And Ireland are once again with the king, Johnny Sexton, managing the team. Ireland's just been looking unbeatable. The only game they've lost is against the All Blacks with Johnny Sexton on the field since 2021, or since he came back from injury in 2021, I think it was. And yes, so since Billy Burns ended his career on the 15th of February in 2021, Ireland, Johnny Sexton returned from his concussion, so he's pretty much one knock away from being out. So he's been pulling Ireland through all the way. The only game that they've lost when Johnny Sexton's actually playing is against New Zealand in Auckland at Eden Park, almost unbeatable Black Fortress. And the other games that Ireland lost against France, this was again without Johnny Sexton. He pulled out last minute. And this one, obviously, it's Ireland C team playing the Maoris because they had a game literally on the same weekend up against the All Blacks at Eden Park. So very, very impressive from the Irish team. Beat South Africa 13 points to 8 in the previous match. The defense was absolutely tremendous. The amount of work that the centers, as we were expecting, put out on this match was absolutely monumental. And I think the Irish was so clinical despite the Springboks had more opportunity to score. The Springboks legitimately had more opportunity to win the game with both penalties and, opportunities close to the try line where they put a pile on pressure. And the defense for the Irish team was just able to hold that out again and again and again. And when the Ireland got the opportunity to attack, they executed with very high proficiency and put points on the board against the Springboks. Even though they had, much fewer chances than the Springboks, they came out with a win. So that is what Scotland's up against. That is the gravity of this match. And boy, this is gonna be epic. So let's have a look at the lineup. Let's have a look at some of the key matchup areas for the teams to manage. So first up, the most important aspect of the game, where the bread and butter for both teams, the front rowers. Andrew Porter comes in number 1, probably looking very strong to be one of the best loose head props in the world. I think the only one better than him in terms of scrummaging, I think Andrew Porter might be overall the best, but the only person that slightly better than him in just the scrummaging is Ox Uncha. So Andrew Porter is overall, I think, probably the best loose head prop in the world right now. His carry game, his scrummaging, his set piece is so tremendous. And then he's just absolute powerhouse machine for the sorry, not Springboks. That's the Springboks. For Ireland. And comes in the loose head position. Dan Sheehan comes in number 2. He's been called off on the bench. He's been absolutely tremendous for Ireland. The line-out throws against the Springboks was absolutely difficult to watch with with Ronan Keller in the first half. I think he lost 3 or 4 lineouts. And Dan Sheehan came off the second half and just landed 100%. So he gets that nod to start at number 2 for Ireland. Ty Furlong comes in number 3. That's one of the best tight head props in the world right now. probably the best tight end prop in the world. And again, just that technical prowess that he brings to the team combines with a bit of really, really good handling and some good carry game from him. Deliver a lot of that damage, front full pressure for Ireland. Scotland coming in, Pierre Schoeman. He has impressed me a lot against the Springboks. I was expecting to get completely steamrolled over by the Springbok scrum, and he has always been tremendously good for his club team. What was it? The anyway, he's been pretty good for his club team. I try to say Murrayfield, but they play on Murrayfield. But anyway, so he's been tremendous good for his club team in terms of running game, carrying the ball. But his set piece and defense is pretty good as well. He's been absolute powerhouse in those areas. But in the scrummaging, he has always suffered a little bit. So going into the Springbok match, I thought he was gonna struggle, but no, he really nailed down that scrummaging and put not just able to nail down the scrummaging, but he was able to put pressure and force penalties out of the Springboks, out of Frans Malherbe. He's extremely, just massively improving in that front. So I'm very, very happy to see. And this is going to be a very difficult match for Ty Furlong, to be really frank with you. If Schoeman can give Malherbe trouble, Ty Furlong would not have an easy day. George Turner comes in number 2, as always, that go-to hooker for the Scotland team. And finally, Xander Fagerson, the guy with all the talent in the world. And the one thing that he needs to work on is his discipline. He has been a guy that has been attracting a lot of yellow cards, unnecessarily putting shots on people in the rocks and stuff. Yeah, just stuff like that needs to tidy up. The team really needs him on the field for that scrummaging to hold out Andrew Porter for this match. In the locking positions, we've got Ty Burn and Ian Henderson, 2 absolute powerhouses. Ty Burn, a specialist at the breakdown. Ian Henderson, a specialist at line out. Rich Gray and Gilchrist comes in for the Scotland team. The 2 guys who played against the Springboks in the previous match. Again, tremendously good in the set piece in their own rights. In the loose forwards now, the battle is going to be at the breakdown. It's going to be the key. The speed of the breakdown is what both team wants to look for. Obviously, different reasons. For Ireland, the breakdown is all about speed, about getting the fast balls and allowing that center field pressure to continue. And for the Scotland team, obviously the opposite, and try to stifle that breakdown as much as possible. And so we've got some specialists here. Peter Romani will be earning his 100th Test cap this week, and wow, congratulations! An absolute hero in the Scotland team. I've seen him for my whole life. It seems to feel like I've been watching him my whole life. Finally getting that 100th Test match. Josh Van der Fleer in the open side flanker position. Player of the year last year, I think it was, maybe the year before. And then Caelan Doris comes in number 8. The trial, the tested, the true, best loose forwards in the Irish lineup. The Scotland team, Jamie Ritchie comes in as the captain in the blindside flanker position. Roy Darch has been quite good for Scotland, bringing a lot of that speed in the open side flanker position ahead of Hamish. What is his name? Not Hamish Watson. Is Hamish Watson? Yeah, he's getting that jersey ahead of what's his name? Yeah, Hamish Watson. Yeah, Hamish Watson. Hamish Watson ahead of Hamish Watson, and Jack Dempsey also gets that nod again at the number 8 jersey. Someone who's just been really, really building a lot. He started for when he first started for Scotland, I was a little bit skeptical. He looked very rusty. His passes looked quite off, accuracy very low, and he's really grown and developed into that number 8 jersey spot for letting that experience show through for Scotland. In the back line now, we've got Jameson Gibson-Park, one of the fastest breakdown speed in the world, getting that ball out quickly for Johnny Sexton. Ali Price gets a surprising start at the number 9, ahead of what's his name? Ben White. Yeah, so Ben White has been a regular start at number 9 jersey for Scotland in recent times, and Ali Price, the veteran, gets the nod. Yeah, that's a very interesting call by Gregor Townsend, and Ben White is not in the team at all. I checked as well. Ben White is not injured or anything. So Ali Price, I couldn't find anything about his injury. So Ali Price gets that nod. And obviously the battle of the 10, the king himself, Johnny Sexton, so good, so amazing. And boy, I'm going to miss him. Whenever, this is he's an absolute national treasure. And boy, he's up against the number 2 fly half in the world. Finn Russell wants to take the throne, the magician. Sometimes Finn Russell, that execution that I feel like sometimes when Finn Russell is too creative for his own team. Like, he will make some plays that his team's probably not even expecting. And yeah, he's just so good, so accurate. And Johnny Sexton, Finn Russell, two completely different style, you can see. Johnny Sexton is more of a brutish, quick decision making and try to jam players down center field style, whereas Finn Russell is more of a trick play, trying to find space behind the attacking line sort of style. But yeah, very interesting to see how that's going to turn out. Very excited. Number 11, James Lowe retains our jersey once again. Duhan van der Merwe comes in at number 11, one of the biggest wingers in the world right now. And I was actually thinking about this. This was a really interesting selection from Gregor Townsend and put him at number 11 because in the Springboks game, he was putting at 14. And Darcy Graham was 11. So I don't know why they decided to put him back in the blindside winger. I really felt that the way that Ireland plays, in the way that they like to jam the 10 and 13 channel with the big bodies like Bundy Aki and Gary Ringrose, and they got an extra, I think they got an extra, McCloskey got an extra center there as well. McCloskey is center, right? I'm pretty sure he's center. So with that pressure that they're applying in the center position, I thought they're going to put Van der Merwe at 14 just to match the size in that 13 channel, 12 and 13 channel. And surprised, especially because they did that against the Springboks. I was expecting Gregor Townsend to do that again this game. But yeah, interesting to see that he put him 11 again. And Duhan van der Merwe, his best performance was against the All Blacks. A lot of strong carries from him, and I think they need that this game. And in the All Blacks game, he did a lot of carry, almost like a 12, like a 13 play, much closer to the action in that match. And that's something once again the Scotland team wants to play with him closer to the field than he will be in the blindside position. Coming in at 12, we got Bundy Aki and Gary Ringrose, the two absolute weapons. Bundy Aki has received Man of the Match 2 matches in a row now against Tonga and against the Springboks. And both matches, he was able to find that short angle where he runs the unders line and he was able to punch through the defense, even against Springboks. That was unbelievable how good this guy has been, just being able to manipulate the defense a little bit and get himself through the little gap, receiving a short ball from his teammates. And yeah, that devastating weapon is going to be once again very difficult to deal with the size and speed that Bundy Aki brings. It's unbelievable how good this guy is at the game right now. How good form he is in right now. Simone Tuipulotu will have a big handful with Bundy Aki, quite literally. But Tuipulotu has been one of the best centers in the world, consistently performing for Scotland in recent times, and that's gonna be one of probably the biggest game. This is the biggest game in his entire career. Number 13, Gary Ringrose, again, absolute powerhouse work rate for the Springboks, one of the most dangerous weapons. Sorry, not Springboks, keep calling it Springboks because they were in green. For Ireland, one of the most dangerous weapons in that 13 channel, and this is the key areas where Ireland wants to win all of their battles in that 12 and 13 channel. Hugh Jones gets the nod on number 13. He has been developing quite nicely for Scotland. His stats going into the Rugby World Cup was looking like he's going to be a little bit of a defensive liability, but he's much better than his stats is much better than he was prior to the Rugby World Cup. Still has a bit of handling issues, a bit rusty around the edges, but overall his presence on the field in that number 13 jersey is quite dangerous, quite a threat for Scotland. Number 14, Mac Hansen gets the nod once again. Always good on the wing, always agile. He's up against Darcy Graham. Darcy Graham first up is the best winger in the Scotland team. Much better than Van der Merwe. Van der Merwe has the bigger body, but Darcy Graham has the bigger heart. Yeah, he works around the park. It's not just Van der Merwe has sometimes I think Van der Merwe is one of the guys I criticize a little bit for kind of waiting for the opportunity to present himself. Darcy Graham, he's a dog. He hunts for He's an absolute dog. He hunts for every opportunity. He sniffs out every little bit of a space, and he will go for it. And he's absolutely amazing to player and amazing to watch. Darcy Graham, and yeah, he's best winger in Scotland. Yeah, Gregor Townsend. Despite the media likes to blow smoke up Van der Merwe's behind, Darcy Graham is actually the better player. Number 15, we got Hugo Keenan, one of the guys that's been just the goalkeeper, maybe you can say, for Ireland. And Blair Kinghorn, gets moved to the 15th. Ever since he moved to 15 jersey, he has been giving a lot more space to move around, and it's looking very dangerous because he was, he had to play at 10 for a bit as a reserve for Finn Russell. He's a bit of a utility player, but in recent times, he's just looking extremely dangerous with that. I don't know why he looks very clumsy. He looks like the way he runs. He doesn't look like someone that's very agile, but he's extremely agile and extremely good and extremely dangerous on the field, despite his appearance, the way he runs, the way he moves, and yeah, very impressive play. And number 15 jersey for Scotland. Finally, the most important, very important part, probably the most important part of the game at the moment is the bench. Scotland has opted for an extra forward on the bench. Yeah, it shows the areas of the battle that Scotland wants to win, whereas Ireland has stuck to their same setup with 5 forwards and 3 backs with an extra. I'm pretty sure McCloskey is a center, right? With an extra center. I might sound like an idiot, but yeah, if I'm wrong, let me know. He might be a fullback, but let me know. But I'm pretty sure he's a center. So anyway, on the bench, Ronan Keller, again, that line out was a big issue against the Springboks. It needs to make sure he polishes that up in the second half. Dave Kelcourt and Finlay Billum was giving the Springboks bomb squad some issues in the second half, earning a penalty from the scrum. So again, this is going to be very difficult for Scotland to deal with. Ewan Asham comes in number 16. Number 17, Rory Sutherland. And finally, number 18, Willem Nel. And Willem Nel, his scrummaging has improved a bit, and he really, there was a period where I thought he probably should have retired, but he's really starting to find himself in the form again in the prop position, and that's what you want. You just want him to hold up the scrums and keep everything steady. Number 19, James Ryan gets moved down to the bench again. The Andy Farrell probably has him in mind as a finisher, and also maybe because the lineouts with Ronan Kelleher. Is it Kelleher or Keller? I think it's Roland Keller. Roland Keller throwing the lineouts. I think James Ryan may be just the better combination for him because they were the starting team against the Springboks. So maybe that's why James Ryan is on the bench. Jack Conan comes in at number 20. Will be filling at the number 8 jersey. Scott Cummins for number 19 for Scotland, and Matt Fagerson comes in number 20 once again as a finisher. And Conor Murray comes in number 21, the veteran. And Luke Crosby as an additional forward for Scotland, number 21. Jack Crowley comes in number 21. 22, the succession plan is in place for Jack Crowley to take over Johnny Sexton. I think the biggest difference between Jack Crowley and Ross Byrne is the fact that Ross Byrne seems to be living under, whilst being a tremendously good player in every shape or form. But, he has that. I feel like he's always under the shadow of Johnny Sexton a little bit, whereas Jack Crowley has truly, stepped out of the shadow, and the sky is the limit for Jack Crowley to take over the succession plans. George Horn comes in number 22 for Scotland, and finally Stuart McCloskey at number 23, and Ollie Smith for Scotland finish off the squad at number 23. Let me know your predictions, guys. I do think that Ireland will win this one. I think it's going to be very close. Scotland will have to pull out the best game they ever played, ever, to have a chance to beat Ireland. And also, they have to beat Ireland by 7 to actually advance into the quarterfinals. So it's going to be very difficult. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think Ireland will win this one by 7 themselves. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know your predictions. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching this video. Thanks to the guys who supports me financially. I do appreciate your your hard-earned money to help me with what I do here. I really do appreciate that. And thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your prediction. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later this week for the review. Have a good one. Cheers.